Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Sidetrack here, bringing you our next episode in our Let's Play series. So far, our energy system is, working. I think we did this last episode, we got all up and running. We are really not getting that much sugarcane though. It does say 62, most of that's because I ran out to little sugarcane, stalks that I have over there and chopped them all down. This is, it's working, but it could be better. One thing I was thinking actually as I built it was, well, right after I built it and recorded it, go figure, was that it really doesn't need this top layer. If we think about how sugarcane grows, essentially what it does is, at least in what I read about it, it grows in a series of stages. So obviously it's got 3 layers. But apparently it takes, roughly about 5 to 10 minutes for each stalk to, grow an extra, layer on it. And I was thinking about this. So if it takes, we'll just say 5 minutes, make it easy. 5 minutes to grow one layer, and then roughly 5 minutes later, one of them will, grow another. We're not kind of losing out on efficiency because then the other ones have been sitting here for, almost the length of time they need to grow another stalk, and then we chop them all down. So what I think we're going to do is actually, I'm going to go through, and I'm going to do this off camera because I don't think you want to watch me do this again. I'm going to chop off the top section of this, and then raise it up a level, and so pretty much we're going to have 2 layers of just one high pistons. And I think that'll be more efficient. If nothing else, it's going to give us double the sugar cane, and hopefully that'll make us a little bit more sugar cane. We haven't really been using power, so we are doing fine on sugar cane. But once we start, making some new machines, which is what I want to do this episode, I think we're going to need the power. So I'll be back in a few, and you can see what I've come up with. All right, so here's how it's looking so far. I think I'm just going to shorten it, cut it in half, and then instead of try to do a bud switch, on the bottom and on the top, I compress it and make it smaller. If I just do one, because, they're going to all grow probably fairly frequently, and the pistons are going to be firing a lot. One thing I do want to stop and say is that I did figure out that you actually can use the insulated redstone conduit instead of regular old redstone, but you do have to right-click and activate kind of the forced connection mode, and then go back and set a strong signal. At least I'm pretty sure you have to do a strong signal. I think that's what I did. So I'm going to do it again. Alright, so, we're going to kind of set this up the way we were setting everything else up. Just going to go ahead and create a bud switch on the top. So, just want to go ahead and put our bricks down. And I'll come back once I've got it all situated. It's going to look pretty much the same as last time with the not and the and all that good stuff. So back in a few and I'll show it off. Alright, so here's what we've got. It doesn't look horrible. Essentially what I did is just another stack, on top. Now the bottom is not, like I said, a bud switch, so you can see that this is grown and it's not going to harvest it. However, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. It's what I'm going to do. However, when one from the top grows, it'll harvest both of them. So how did I accomplish this? Glad you asked. It's not very complicated. So the top is just a simple bud switch. So anytime, these grow just like it did before, it will, because there's redstone signal traveling through this insulated redstone conduit, it's going to fire off the top pistons. When the top pistons fire, they trigger our update detector, which is just a nice compact bud switch, which then sends a signal through the redstone conduit, ouch, fires all of these, I think I'm going to have to get out of here, fires all of those, oh well, I'll find it later. Oh, there we go. And firing of, the wow, brain isn't working. Firing of that redstone signal is going to send it up to the to our repeater. Now, one thing I will note is that I had to change the repeater delay to 4 ticks. I think that's because I'm using these conduits on the top. They function, I guess, a little bit slower, maybe? I'm not sure. because if I have it set to anything else, they just repeatedly fire and fire and fire. But this seems to be working great. Um, so pretty cool. I'm gonna put the finishing touches on it, and then we'll actually make some new, cool, awesome stuff. Um, I'm not sure how I feel about this bottom row. Well, it's better than it was. Back in a few. Alrighty, so this looks pretty good to me. Put some finished clear glass on there, quite clear glass on the side. I kind of like being able to see in the side. I think that looks alright. So yeah, we've got our power room. A little empty right now, but it will be filled at some point. I did go ahead and put some conduit facades on here. Actually, I moved the pipe up from down there through there, so you can't see it. And I also put some conduit facades over here, so it looks a little nicer. All right, so on to what I want to accomplish today. There are a bunch of things that I'd like to make, but unfortunately, we don't have the machines to go ahead and make them. Num, 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 num. So what I want to do is go ahead and start working our way up through thermal expansion. And we should be able to make pretty much most of the basic machines and some of the more advanced machines pretty easily and pretty quickly. So let's clear this out. We do not need, what was that, a repeater? First thing to make is a redstone furnace. Pretty simple. We are going to probably just stick with the basic ones today. So we need ourselves a machine frame, and for that we're going to need some tin gears. We're going to need a bunch of tin gears. 3, 4, oh boy. Because we're going to need a bunch of machine frames. So let's see. 6 of these tin gears. We may even need some more than that. So that will get us 6 machine frames. Let's find the basic machine frame. I think I'm going to need some glass. But I think I was cooking some up earlier. Yes, I was. Excellent. And so we just need to throw some glass in here. 4, 5, 6. Cool. So the next thing we're going to need is a couple of bricks that we have. And we're going to need some copper gears. We're going to need a lot of copper gears. Whoa, what on earth? Oh, I know why. I didn't shift click it. I just clicked on it. We're going to probably need, this may be a little much, but I think we're going to need about 12 copper gears. And then redstone furnace, or redstone, I think we can go ahead and make it. Do I have everything? Nope, missing our redstone reception coil. There we go. So, redstone furnace. This is not really going to advance us at all. We've got the alloy smeltery, which really does the same thing and a bit more, but you never know when you want just a basic furnace. Pulverizer. I am going to need to snag 2 of these flint. We did make a pulverizer already. However, I do want to have one that is dedicated to things that we want. We're going to have to make another reception coil. We need to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reception coils. All right. Pulverizer. Think we can go ahead. Nope, need a piston. Piston, can I make you? Great. I really like having access to all this stuff right here. You'll notice I did a little bit of planning for this because I didn't want to have to run back and forth to chests forever. And can I make all this? Let's place that with this one. And nope, still missing something. Oh, you know, it'd be useful to actually put the flint in the crafting area. All right, pulverizer. Pulverizer, sawmill. You know, I'm getting tired of cutting down those trees every time. And the sawmill is great because it gives you extra lumber. For the sawmill, we are going to need an axe, though. And for the axe, we are going to need a little bit of sticks. Would come in handy. Oh god, that was a horrible pun, and I didn't even do it on purpose. Alright, sawmill. Sawmill, basic sawmill, I think we can go ahead and make. We are going to have to replace the machine frame. Now, one thing, nope, we're still missing something. Need wood. One thing that you see in here, and I talked about the different tiers, we are going to want to upgrade these at some point in the near future. But I just kind of wanted to make them all just so we have them, because you never know when you might want them. We're probably going to upgrade them pretty quickly, though. So, do we have everything for this? Let's find out. I think place it here. No. What am I missing? Oh, I pulled the invar out of there. There we go. Induction smelter. And this is actually the piece that we've been missing for a couple of things that I wanted to do. Some things do, you know, you can make in the alloy smeltery, but some things you do need the induction smelter for. All right, magma crucible. Here's we're getting a little bit more complicated. We're going to need a leadstone energy cell, and for that we're going to need some redstone. Pretty simple to make. Magma crucible, leadstone energy cell. I think we should be able to make this pretty easily. No, of course, I pulled the glass out of there. What can I take out? Let's move the copper. I don't think I need that for a little while. All right, magma crucible. And place this middle bit. What am I missing? Oh, there goes my food. Oh, I need nether brick. Nether brick we should be able to make by cooking up some netherrack. Because you cook netherrack, turns into nether brick. So let's do that real quick. Take 8. Ooh, wrong button. And I think we can do this in furnace only. I think we can do this in here. Are we running out of power? Oh, wow. Well, let me let this cook and I'll be back in a minute. Ooh, wait, no. You know how I talked about having a furnace would be useful? Let's go ahead and just drop this down real quick. We'll just stick it here for now. Furnace. Let's go ahead and kick one of these on for a few minutes. Disabled. There it goes. Excellent. Very cool. So just like with everything else, we are going to have some augment slots, but we're not going to be able to do too much with this until we upgrade the machines. So we'll definitely do that once we make all of these things. And then I'll talk about the rest of these tabs if you've never seen them before. It only uses your 20 redstone flux a tick. Let's go and turn this back on low so it shuts off. I think it'll shut off. There we go. And this will have plenty of power. The one thing is, at least they didn't used to. Machines didn't store power. And so when I pop this off, this power will probably be lost unless they've updated that with the thermal expansion. Ooh. Oh yeah, one thing I want to notice, or I want you to notice, I actually took all the sugarcane out of here, and I just kind of want to see how much it's going to make. So we're up to 5 right now. And we'll see how we come along. Like I said before, it's not making the largest amount of sugarcane. Alright, 2 nether bricks. Nether bricks go in. Nope, we're going to need that. Excellent. Magma crucible. So, we've made magma crucible. Now we need a fluid transposer. The fluid transposer is great because it lets you inject fluid into certain objects. We're going to need another bucket. Bucket. Fluid transposer. And the fluid transposer is something that I really want because I like to make things like... Oop, wrong button. The illuminators. And they kind of give off a cool light, and we'll play with those. I think I mentioned a long time ago that I wanted to put them in the ceiling. We'll see. Okay, so we've got all these machines. I think I'm going to need some more power conduits, because I don't think... Wrong chest. Oh, I've got 32. Oh, that's actually not too bad. So let's go ahead and shrink down into mini-me and think about how we're going to do this. So we're going to need to go... We can just go around this. That would make it easier than trying to tunnel all the way underneath. Because this is 2... And then the water in the way. Yeah, let's just go around it. That'll make it easier. I'd rather not have to place conduit facades everywhere. Because while they're fairly easy to make... I'd rather not have to. Let's see. So, you know, let's bat mode it so I can get up and around easily. Okay, too high. We've got powers coming out, so we want to come down out the bottom here. So power out the bottom, and we can see it's red, so we know power is flowing out of here. Let's send it down here, over this way, over here, and so this is the edge of here. Yeah. Let's run it this way. And so that's the edge. My guess. Oh, there we go. This is the edge of the room. Do I have an axe? I do. Let's take axe right here. Okay. So we want power to come up. Let's put them right here for now. We may want to shift these around at some point in the future, but for now, this should work. Using a ton of power conduits. Nope, hold on. Okay. And what did I make? 6 machines. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excellent. Put some of this stuff back down. And some of these bricks back down. Cool. And now the moment of truth. Let's see if the redstone furnace actually holds power or not. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Doesn't look like it. Whee! I guess I'll put the furnace here. Oh, it does hold its power. Pretty cool. Next to the furnace, I'm going to go ahead and put the pulverizer. And I think I'm going to put the sawmill next to that. Which one is the sawmill? For here. I think I'll do the induction smelter, magma crucible, and then fluid transposer. Excellent. One of the things that's usually a good idea to do is to put your fluid transposer next to your magma crucible. We may decide to change this around in the future, but one of the things that you notice is the magma crucible actually melts things down. So if we look at the recipes, it'll melt down, well, who cares about melting on ice? But it'll melt down something like, oh, we can look at our glowstone. So it melts down glowstone into energized glowstone. And energized glowstone is used in a lot of things. Oops, what am I doing here? Energized glowstone is used to make, ow, that was loud. Like our, I'll just show you in here, our illuminators. And you need to use that in the fluid transposer. Die, spider. Well, actually, he really wasn't a threat. He couldn't have gotten up from down there, but, well, likelihood of him. So that'll be, kind of nice, because you'll just melt it here, and then it would output onto the side. Let's go ahead and disable all this stuff. And then input onto into the fluid transposer. Okay, so got all this stuff. What are we going to do with it? Well, let's try and one of the things I'd like to do is, start thinking about upgrading some of the machines, which is kind of funny because we just made them all. But if we look at some of the recipes, like, oh, I don't know, let's upgrade our induction smelter. One of the things that it needs is either fused quartz or hardened glass. Well, hardened glass I can make because I've got a supply of obsidian, and lead is pretty simple. So we can... What was that noise? I have no idea. Oh, I know what it was. It was... Yeah, I'll show you in a second. Hardened glass is a little bit of obsidian, which I think is down here. And a bit of lead, which I've got in here. Somewhere in here. Lead, where are you? Oh, I've got some in my inventory. But I think I also have some over here. Yeah. Grab some lead out of there. So we can take our pulverizer, throw in some obsidian. Let's disable all the outputs. Get some pulverized obsidian. So that noise is the sound of our pulverizer going, and our reactant dynamos are going because we plugged in all those machines and used a lot of power. We still have quite a bit of power in here, and we've got tons of power in here. So we will have to see how this works out. Got this whole stack of sugarcane in here. We've apparently used up all the sugarcane we had made. Alright, so take our induction smelter, grab some pulverized obsidian, throw in some lead, and we'll get some hardened glass out of here. Excellent. So what we're going to need to do is we are going to have to upgrade this kind of in... I think you'll have to upgrade it in stages. So you can either upgrade with just putting, whatever tier energy frame you want in the machine, and that will give it an upgrade immediately. But you do need each tier of energy frame, or machine frame, excuse me, to upgrade your basic frames. So if we wanted to upgrade our induction smelter, we're going to need to make several of these different, levels. I think your Invar and Electrum is the first level. And I kind of want to experiment with this because I kind of want to know if this power is going to get transferred over or not. Kind of curious to know. So, let's see. We need to make an Electrum gear, which I think is just Electrum. That pulverizer is noisy. I'm going to have to mute it down a little bit. Alright, so it's just an Electrum gear, and, well, it's the same for all of them. And then Invar. And I've got plenty of Invar. So let's go pop off this induction smelter. Nothing's in it. Alright, so it's got full power, and I think we can just take our induction smelter, put that in here, our Electrum gear, and 4 hardened glass. No. Let's try this again. Induction smelter. Maybe. Oh, Invar. Let's do this. There we go. And do I have Invar in there? Yes, I do. I'll put that back in there. And induction smelter. And what am I missing? I don't know what I'm missing. Well, let me go look it up and see if I can figure it out. I've got the Electrum gear in there. I've got the Invar in here. Induction smelter basic. Should turn into induction smelter hardened. Maybe I can't do it in this machine. Let's try this. Let's try it over here. Electrum gear. Oop, not lead. Hardened, hardened, hardened. Induction smelter. Oh, there we go. Okay. So looks like you can't make it in the work table. Good to know. Okay, so does this have power? Let's just stick it on the ground and see. Oh, nice. It does store its power. And upgrading it gives it an additional, basically, buffer of power, which is pretty cool. And it gives us an extra augmentation slot. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I wonder if how many times we can upgrade this with the stuff that we have. Because I'd like to upgrade it as much as we can. So, induction smelter. It looks like the next tier is a Singulum gear. Signalum, yeah. And then after that is going to be our Enderium gear. So let's see what we need for a Signalum. Signalum looks like Signalum blend, furnace, induction smelt. Well, that does not help very much. Okay, so Signalum is silver, copper, and a destabilized redstone bucket. Okay, we can do that. Redstone, don't have any in my inventory. Should have some in here. It's going to take 10 redstone or 5 redstone for a bucket. So magma crucible, let us disable the output for now. Oh wait, no. We can go ahead and keep it on X output. I think each one is. Where'd that go? Is 100. Okay, so we are going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think that was 9. We'll figure it out. Input on this side. Toggle to fill. Well, that should work. Oh, that's why. It's going out the or out the back. And output this side. Input. Oh. Now I'm just confused. There we go. I'm an idiot. I always get these things backwards. I, hover over it, and I see toggle empty, and I think, oh, right now it's on empty. No, it's on fill. So we're gonna need to get a redstone bucket, or a bucket to put redstone in. Do I have a bucket over here still? I do. Cool. Fill the wrong one. Fill up the bucket. So fluid transposer, filling up the bucket. We have a bucket of destabilized redstone. And I think we needed copper and tin, was that right? So I've got some copper there. Let's see if I can remember how much of each one we need. Signalum. 1, 2, 3 copper. Oh, silver. Okay. Whoops. Get rid of that tin. Silver. Let's make a bunch of this all at once. Okay, take out that obsidian. Use that later. Copper ingot. I wonder if you could make this signalum in the Tinker's Construct smeltery. My guess is probably not, but let's cycle through here. Doesn't look like it. Alright, so we're going to need 3 copper for every silver, which means, how many of these am I going to make? I need 4 signalum, so I need 12 copper. 12 copper. 4 silver. Waiting around. I'll meet you guys back over at the table. Alright, so we've got our signalum blend. Very cool. I'm going to go ahead and make some more redstone, make some more signalum, and then cook it on up in our redstone furnace. And just so you don't have to stand around watching that, I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so making 4 signalum gears. I would make more, but I don't have that much redstone left. And... Oop, wrong button. And where did those... There we go. Hardened glass. 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. So we've got a reinforced induction smelter. Very cool. And then the last piece. So it goes basic, hardened, reinforced, and then dun dun dun, resonant. So I've been waiting a long time to make this Enderium ingot because we have our Enderman farm and we have all the Ender pearls we could ever need. So we're going to use the alloy smelteries recipe because, well, it's a little bit easier considering I don't have my induction smelter down right now, and we're trying to upgrade it. So we need 2 ender pearls, we need to make some pyrotheum, and we need to make some enderium base. Enderium base is pretty easy. It's just a shiny ingot, a silver ingot, and 2 tin ingots. So we need shiny ingots. Let's just make like a couple of them. Silver ingots, and what did I say the other one was? Tin? I think that's right. Now, of course, I can't remember. It's kind of bad when you just say something and then totally don't remember it. Oop, too far. 2 tin, shiny, silver. Okay. Alloy smeltery, do you have any more power right now? Well, you're getting there. Um, Tell you what, let me go move this. We're running out of time, so I'm trying to be quick about this. Let me move this over there. I'm gonna make a wall of these machines. Hopefully, I have enough conduit. All right, so making up some Enderium base. I have configured my alloy smeltery so that it will export to the chest on the left. And so we're getting some Enderium base here. Now, the next thing we're going to need to make is some pyrotheum. And for pyrotheum, we're going to need a couple of things. We are going to need some pyrotheum. Where are you? We can find it from here, right? There we go. We're going to need some blaze powder, which we have, some redstone, which we have, some coal powder, which we're going to have to make, and some sulfur. Now, sulfur we don't have, and it's kind of hard, at least sometimes it's hard to find in the world. The good thing is that we can make it out of, not a macerator, out of the extractor. So we're actually going to extract some sulfur out of this coal powder. Very useful. While that works, we're going to grab ourselves a little bit of coal. Grab 5 of them, and we are going to pulverize that up. Go see how that sulfur's doing. And we're going to throw this whole mess into the alloy smeltery. I'll go ahead and make one, and I'll make the others a little bit later. I'm trying to be quick. Pulverizer moves nice and fast. Okay, so pulverizer, blaze powder and redstone. Blaze powder in here. A couple of those. Redstone I think I have in here. Alright. So, redstone. Oop. Sounds like some more sugarcane is coming through. Ah. Don't you love misclicking? And blaze powder. It gives us 2 pyrotheum. So we're going to take 2 of these pyrotheum, run them back over here to the alloy smeltery. I do have ender pearls. Excellent. Pull these out. Ender pearls, pyrotheum, Enderium dust, or Enderium base, and we're getting ourselves. Wow, this moves slow. This goes really slow. Good lord, that moves slow. Okay, well, I'm gonna come back in a little bit once this is done. I've never made it this way before. Man, that's slow. Okay, man, that took forever. But Enderium gear. Excellent. We're still waiting on the rest of them to cook up. That's going to take quite a while. And I need 4 silver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Score. Induction smeller. Induction smeller. What's an induction smeller? Induction smelter resonant. Awesome. The only thing that would make this cooler is if it had like flashy green. Well, if it had flashy green highlights. We're going to need to install a muffler for that. That thing's loud. But we've got all these augment slots. Very, very cool. That holds a lot of power. Next episode, we're going to, actually, between this episode and next episode, I think I'm going to upgrade all the rest of these. I'm going to have to go mining for a whole lot of stuff. Man, this stuff is slow. Yeah, so then we'll work on augments for next time. And I don't know, something else interesting and fun. Maybe decorating the house and, I don't know. Maybe some tools. I don't know. We'll figure it out. See how many times I can say I don't know before I end the episode. Every time Sidetrack says I don't know, take a drink. Okay, sorry. Till next time. This is Sidetrack signing off. Have a great day, folks.